Austin, very good to see you. A really important topic today. This video is for anyone who's been laid off recently. We have 4 action steps to consider. As of April, about 60,000 people have been laid off, including thousands more, of course, at U.S. health agencies. With markets rattled and a potential recession on the way, a lot of people are worried about their job right now. Being laid off is terrible. Having an action plan can help. Before we get into those action steps, so this is a good time to remind everyone to shore up your emergency fund. So how much cash should we have on hand?
Yeah, this is one of those topics. It's never fun, right, to have that idle money on the sidelines, but really it is so important, frankly, outside of times like these, but also even more important when we go through an unfortunate situation like a layoff. So
Yeah.
I think all the popular advice out there is roughly that 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. But if you're within that 5 year window of retirement, we really like to see that higher, typically in the range of 6 to 12 months worth of living expenses, because we don't want to accrue what is known as bad debt, right? Whether that's credit card debt, having to tap into home equity because we didn't have a properly situated emergency fund.
Yeah, really good point. Okay, so now let's walk through those steps then. First, this one is a little bit straightforward. File for unemployment.
You've paid in, right? If we've paid into
Amen. Yeah.
something, we really want to make sure that we're taking advantage of all of the resources that we have access to, right? So this is kind of the first step, should be at the top of the priority list if we get laid off, to really have some income coming into the household.
hmm And next, update your resume. This one's no fun, but really has to be done.
Yeah, no fun. And frankly, it should be done periodically anyways, right?
Right.
We don't want to wait till we're in a situation where we need it, right? And we don't have it. I would say every 6 months to a year is probably prudent, just to give that a kind of gloss over of what's been updated, what has been updated, what should we change, if anything at all. So we're ready and we're not being reactive in these situations that are frankly stressful enough.
Very much. Next, ask about severance, your final paycheck, and any unpaid PTO.
Yeah, this is really a bucket that comes with a lot of nuances. So, number one, as you mentioned, are we privy to a severance or are we not? What does that severance include? Perhaps it includes health coverage outside of something like Cobra. Do we have PTO on that final paycheck, right? That was unused, hasn't been paid out. Do we have it saved up and it hasn't been paid out yet? So, we need to be thinking about all of these various things and asking the right questions. That's really the number one thing here.
Mhm. Next, review your 401k. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so I think this is the easy one that we see all too often. People forget about these old 401ks,
Yeah.
right? It's a very stressful time in our lives when we have a sudden job change. We're juggling a lot, but we want to make sure that we're making the right decision with these funds, right? Is it best to leave it in the old 401k? And perhaps it is, but do we know what our new 401k offers and how do they compare? Perhaps it makes sense to get it out of a company retirement plan altogether and roll it to an IRA.
Yeah.
But unless we're evaluating these options with a professional, we really can't answer that question.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that because that is, of course, a really important kind of last step, which is tap your support system. This is such a tough time. And part of that support system should include a financial advisor. Why is that?
Yeah, I think so many times employees think of HR as our friend. While they're great and they serve a role, frankly, when a company is faced with massive layoffs,
Yeah.
especially at a big organization, right? HR is looking out for the company and is
Yeah.
inundated with so many requests, like could
Right.
be up to thousands of requests at one time. And you really want somebody that's in your corner, right? That's looking out for your best interest, that understands your timelines, goals, and what your financial life looks like. So that's really where a trusted financial planner can come in and kind of be your advocate in a time when perhaps you really need one.
Yeah, somebody in your corner. I like that. Austin, well, if somebody is facing any job uncertainty or if they've recently gone through a big transition at work, what's the best way to reach you with questions?
Yeah, you can give us a call at 919-322-4113 or send us an email at info@patriotwealthnc.com.
Great. Austin, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.